For you on today's hit music, Q92 live in studio. It's Knox.
What's up? Hey.
Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome back to Ohio.
I'm happy to be here, man.
Dayton's own Knox, and we're just going to jump right into some questions because we really want to hear you perform.
Yeah.
So let's just jump into it. All right. So you first had success on TikTok.
Yes.
The song Sneakers.
Yes, sir.
Blew up overnight.
Yeah.
And now you've got Not the 1975. It's taken off.
Yeah.
When did you know that this was like a different kind of success from the TikTok?
Ooh. Wow, that's you stumped me. That's a good question. Honestly,
did it ever just hit you, be like, man, this is kind of different?
Yeah, it's when like my friends that still live in like Dayton, Ohio. It's like when they send you a video and they're like, dude, I'm in a Panera Bread and your song's playing, like you're famous now. And so yeah, I guess that was like it's cool seeing people that you know from like childhood seeing it out in public, and then they're like, that's the like I made it.
The I'm here moment.
I get to like most people. To me, like nothing really feels that different. I'm just like I just get to sing my songs all over the country now. It's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I read that Not the 1975 is based on something someone actually said to you.
Yeah. I had I basically, long story short, I had somebody tell me, I was telling somebody that I had like a record deal. Because if you say to somebody, you're like, oh, I'm a musician, they're like, okay. And they're like, I bet you are. And I'm like, I was like, no, like I have a record deal. It's like how I pay my bills and stuff. I'm like signed to Atlantic. And then they were like, that's sick, but you'll never be Maddie Healy. And I was like, that's mean, but also really like, but it was also really funny. Like, I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. And so, yeah, the very next morning, I literally woke up the next morning and I picked up a guitar and the first thing out of my mouth was like, she said, I like your confidence. I don't know how to play it. I mean, even though I'm going to play it, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's so cool. And she's sitting there now just being like, man, what did I do?
Yeah, dude, she created a monster. I don't know.
That's all right. We'll take it. All right. I mentioned that you were from Dayton and then you moved to Nashville.
Yeah.
All right. How did you come to the decision to leave OU? You went to OU, correct?
Yeah.
How did you come to the decision to be like, all right, I'm really going to give this a go and I'm going to go after my music?
Dude, I just I started taking it like pretty seriously my sophomore year that I was at OU, and like to the point that I wasn't even going to my classes. I was just staying in and like learning songs on guitar, and I was playing in front of people every single night. Like I gathered a list of anywhere in Athens, Ohio that would let me come play. Like I played in the Jimmy John's.
No way.
Like, oh yeah, I just walked into Jimmy John's and was like, yo, could I because everybody would go there after like the bars at OU and go to Jimmy John's. So I was like, yo, let me come in here and like play guitar, and they just like would let me.
And there are a lot of bars in OU.
Yeah. And so I pretty much just did that, and it just became something I was taking so seriously. I was like, man, I really think if I put myself in the right position, I feel like I could figure this out. And I just knew like if I wanted like real opportunity in the music industry, it wasn't gonna happen in Athens, Ohio.
Yeah.
And so, I just dropped out and moved to Nashville, and thankfully, it started working. There was a while there it wasn't working, so I'm glad that it's kind of, figured itself out.
Now, most people know you from, Not the 1975. And I had read somewhere that it was what your managers had said about your music. They said often it has a waterfall effect after someone hears something that people will be like, hey, I like this guy. I'm going to go check him out. And they go and listen to the rest of your stuff. And that's exactly what happened to us. Like, we heard Not the 1975. I was like, I like this. I'm going to go listen to some of the other stuff. And I haven't had a chance to see you live yet. But when I heard it, I listened to the other two EPs, and they've been on repeat in our house. And I think it's because it reminds me of music that I listened to when I was younger, that poppy, rocky, because you have a lot more guitar in your songs.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of like Yellow Card and Boys Like Girls and Bowling for Soup. And that's the stuff that I grew up on. And I thought it was interesting. And I wanted to know, like, who were some of your musical influences when you were growing up, and what made you kind of get the sound that you have?
Well, so I grew up like kind of in the same lane as you. Like I grew up listening to like Boys Like Girls and Fall Out Boy and All American Rejects. But I was never a scene kid, I wasn't a big like Blink 182 fan or like My Chemical Romance. Like I was always just the poppier side of like pop rock or punk rock. You know what I mean? And so that was like what I grew up loving. But then when I started learning how to play guitar, I had this like I went through this huge like singer songwriter kick, like Ed Sheeran, James Bay, like Niall Horan, and people like that. And it just like when I started doing my own stuff, I was like, man, it'd be really cool to kind of write songs in that singer songwriter, like a lot of play on words and like write them as singer songwriter pop songs, but then just like have huge crazy drums and big guitar solos. And like I was like, if you brought those two worlds together, it could be kind of cool. And I guess it is.
It's a great mix. It really is. And I wanted to talk about your writing too. You just brought it up because I do love the play on words, especially in Love Letter and Nevermind.
Hey, yes, sir.
And I think that's really great. When you sit down to write a song, like what goes on in your head?
Dude, honestly, I feel, songs can really start from anywhere, but for me personally, I feel like I always start with like, I think the first thing that I have to have when writing a song is like, when you read the song title, like if you're scrolling through, whether it's Spotify, whatever, and you see Knox and it says something like Not the 1975, right? You're going to like look at that and be like, what could this song be about? You know what I mean? And so like, I always feel like I have to start with like a really grabby like title. I feel like that's the one thing because it just draws you in immediately. Like we have a bunch of songs that are coming out. Like I have one called like 50/50 that's going to come out, and it's like
when's this happening?
And not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. But like it will come out eventually, and like stuff like that where you're just like, what could this be? And like so I feel like I always start with stuff like that.
And I know you've written for a lot of different artists. Who are some of the artists that you've written for that have been your favorite, or some of your favorite songs that you've written that haven't been for you, that you haven't used on your own?
So I have it's not out yet. It's going to come out soon. There's a country artist that's cutting a song that I just wrote that's really sick, and I'm stoked about that. And I'm really proud of it. It's called Nicoteenagers, and it's sick.
Oh, that
I know
again, the play on words.
Yeah, right. It's so dope though. It was so funny because I went into that session knowing I was writing a country song, and I was like, okay, I need to come in with something that like I would do that's like a play. And so my options were Nicoteenagers and Cigar Regret. And I was like, Cigar Regret is bad. I was like, that's just not good. But there's a couple songs like there's this guy John Harvey who I wrote a song called Worse and Elena on his album that I'm super proud of. I think they're really awesome. And there's a band called 90s Kids where I wrote a song called Depression, Heaven, and Politics, which that's the one song I'm so mad that I gave that away because it was before I started my own artist project. But if I would have kept that a couple months longer, it would have been mine. It was sick. But yeah, and then the one other one is there's a girl named Caroline Dare who recorded a song called Dead Flowers that it could have never been my song. It's like super singer-songwriter. But yeah, if you haven't heard it, you should check it out.
Well, there's a list of some artists to check out there.
There you go.
Now back to you. What is your favorite song that you wrote and that you like to perform live?
Dude, honestly, like probably Love Letter. Like Love Letter and my song I'm So Good at Being Alone.
That's a good one.
Are like two of my favorites. One, because they are so vastly different. If you play them back to back, you wouldn't even think the same person's singing them. But it's just both of those songs are like songs that like I love people like Lauv and Chelsea Cutler and like there's a band called Valley. And when I made I'm So Good at Being Alone and Love Letter, even though they're in two different universes, I was like, if my favorite artist would have put out either of those songs, they would be my favorite songs,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just like really proud of them. I think they're just like the signs of the music that I always wanted to make, and so it's cool to like be able to make it now, I guess. You know what I mean?
So I watched one of your early shows on YouTube. It was at the Newport Music Hall in Columbus.
Yeah.
You were opening for Bill Murray. It was your first performance in Ohio, correct?
Yeah.
What was going through your head when you walked off stage as an opener and the crowd started chanting for an encore?
I mean, it was pretty crazy, dude. I mean, I've never been to a show where an opener got something like that. And like honestly, like shout out Johnny, the lead singer of Bill Murray, for not only letting me but making me go back out there and sing it again. Because like most headliner bands would never like would never let that happen. Like the opener's gonna get an encore. Like no, that like just doesn't fly. And so they were really awesome for letting me go back out there and sing it. And it was it was special, man. I've seen so many shows at Newport Music Hall, so for the first time to do it and like it go that well is pretty awesome. But that YouTube video is a little pitchy, eh? I was pretty excited.
You were all right. You were all right when you came out and said, "Yeah, this is my first time in Ohio. I'm from Dayton." The crowd went nuts.
Dude, there were songs I was just yelling.
You could just see the emotions on your face. But that's cool. That's what's awesome about music is it is emotion, and it's a whole range. And for them to do that for you was really, really cool.
Yeah, it was fun, man. It's something I will not be forgetting anytime soon.
All right, so we talked about music, writing, singing. What's something that you like to do outside of music? What does Knox enjoy?
Dude, I mean, I don't know if I should be like proud to admit this, but I am on a hardcore Fortnite kick, dude. Like, it's like borderline not healthy. I like get home from doing stuff like this, and I just sit in front of my little monitor, and I'm just like dropping in, dude. But I mean, other than just like. But honestly, I think that's more so I've been playing just so I can like talk to my friends from back home. You know, it's a little
I feel
sweeter than that,
I mentioned earlier. I got a friend in Charlotte.
Yeah.
We got friends all over, and I mean it's a way for you to connect and
growing
stay in there.
You know? Yeah.
All right. So the main reason everyone's here is to hear you perform.
Let's do it.
And we've been playing it here at Q92. You guys have really responded well to it. We love it, and you're going to perform live right now. It's Knox.
Let's
not
do it.
the 1975.
All right, so this is not the 1975, but since I just have my acoustic, this is the Sad Boy edition. So I hope you like it. Here we go. Vodka soda, baggy jeans, using none of that art degree. She's the type to just look at me, then write me off in a moment. We're in a city full of strangers, but I've got faith in $20 in my pocket. So I said, DJ, can you play her that one song that talks about chocolate? And she said, I like your confidence, but you're not the 1975. And no lie, that's quite the compliment, but I'm not really looking for somebody tonight. Then I said, girl, I might not be famous yet, but I'm gonna put you in a song that I write. And she said, I like your confidence, but you're not the 1975. Oh, I've been feeling a little sweet. Oh, I got jokes, she don't show her teeth. No, she's not losing a lick of sleep when she writes me off, breaks me down to my lowest. We're in a city full of strangers, but it feels like something's up in the air tonight. So I said, DJ, can you play her that one song that talks about Caroline? Then she said, I like your confidence, but you're not the 1975. And no lie, that's quite the compliment, but I'm not really looking for somebody tonight. Then I said, girl, I might not be famous yet, but I'm gonna put you in a song that I write. Then she said, I like your confidence, but you're not the 1975. Alright, there's normally a super sick guitar solo right here, right? Alright, but I got no band, so we're just gonna vibe, alright? Alright, one more. And she said, I like your confidence, but you're not the 1975. And no lie, that's quite the compliment, but I'm not really looking for somebody tonight. Then I said, girl, I might not be famous yet, but I'm gonna put you in a song that I write. Then she said, I like your confidence, but you're not the 1975.
Give it up for Knox, man. That was dope.
That was
right.
scary.
No, you're fine.
That was great.
All right, so you're going to perform here for the people in studio. But before you go, people want to follow you on social media, be in contact. What's your email, your handles? Go ahead. Let it go.
So my phone number is
your social security number.
No, so if you need to follow me on social media, it's at Music by Knox, Knox, and then anywhere on any of the streaming platforms, it's just Knox, Knox, just like Knoxville, Noville, nothing but hits, dude. Go check it out.
and then one last thing. Something kind of cool was announced today.
Oh yeah.
On your way to the studio. I'm on Twitter. Go ahead.
Yes,
What is
sir.
it, man? Let's go.
So I'm going on tour starting July 8th with one of my favorite bands called the band Camino. I'm so stoked, and we're actually going to be playing the Agora in Cleveland sometime in July. I don't know the date, but you should,
maybe?
Yeah, you should go check it out, and you should come. It's going to be so sick. The band Camino is like one of the best bands. It's an absolute honor to be on
And
tour with
Pittsburgh's
them,
not too far. You got the Stage AE. You're going to be there as well.
we go.
So lots of chances to see you this
Come
summer.
out. Yeah.
Thanks again to Knox. Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thank you, guys.
We're going to take a break. Make sure to keep it right here on today's hit music. It's Q92.